This episode of Forging Friendships is sponsored in part by Iron Mountain Metalcraft, located in the beautiful Pigeon Forge, Tennessee area. Go forge a memory with Forged in Fire fan favorite Robbie Bowman. Woo! The show is also sponsored in part by African Custom Knives, Black Dragon Forge, Paragon Kilns, and with the support of viewers like you through our GoFundMe campaign, link in description. Welcome to Forging Friendships. We're just north of Austin today. The shop behind me belongs to Chris Farrell. Years ago, I first learned of Chris while I was watching Forged in Fire for the very first time, landed on his episode. We're gonna sit down with him today and get his story. Come on, let's go.
Hey, Betty.
Don't touch it.
Welcome to my shop and my home here in Cedar Park, Texas, technically, which is like Austin, but not anymore. I used to be in Austin. I just moved a little further northwest into a much bigger shop that isn't a bunch of shanties I built in my backyard. So I'm turning a perfectly good shop into a shanty. That's kind of like what I do here. Yeah, we just moved in a few months ago. Still building it out a bit. We got in, made it functional, and I'm still building out the living area. But yeah, so I got into this place maybe 4 months ago-ish, I don't know. And I got into it from my buddy Liam Fuller. This was a friend of his, had this place and didn't need the whole thing. And so he wanted to see if he could find someone that would rent out the part that he didn't need. And that turned out to be me, because I had, lost my last shop and house and stuff last, little over a year ago now, maybe a year and a half ago. I hit a bad spot and life got bad for a minute, and I figured it out and fixed it and rebuilt it. But that's probably happened about twice in my life. Sometimes things go wrong and the bottom falls out, and you just get back up and you fix it and you rebuild it. And that's what we did, and that's what we're doing here. I don't know. Do I have more? I don't know. Is there more? I don't know. Where are we? Who are we? How did I get here? Where are my pants? I hate when this happens. So yeah, why don't you come on inside and check out my disaster shop. Watch out for dog bombs. I'm like, what's different about this? I'm like, oh, I can't see, that's why. What got me into this? Where were the origins of this? I mean, the origins of this, honestly, is probably the same as a lot of people who do this. Is, I'm a big nerd, I'm a big geek, and when I was a kid, I loved fantasy and fiction novels and sci-fi and stuff like that, but I also love martial arts and things like that. I idolized Bruce Lee, and I just have this weird brain that even now, after all of the damage I've done to it, it needs to understand stuff. It needs to see where things come from, how they work, how they were made, how they were implemented, and how do they intersect with other cultures in different parts of the world. It's very odd. My brain never really stops. It's kind of exhausting for most people around me. The first time I picked up a hammer for smithing, it's like, I was really young. Back before I really started doing this, I worked for someone else who I don't talk about. If you don't have anything nice to say, say it in court. You know, I apprenticed for people and worked with other people, like when I started to learn, and you know,
How old?
for a few years, probably for about 3 or 4 years, long enough for me to learn from some great craftsmen and women that helped me learn how to teach myself and learn how to research and stuff like that. But it gave me some insight into, you know, where I wanted to go with this. And I did some forging, and it really, like, once I started hitting metal with a hammer, like, it really opened my mind to, like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Because before that I was doing a lot of grinding and, you know, and stock removal, which was fun, and it was great to get pieces finished and see something that you've made with your own hands. But, you know, it was the moment where, like, I started a fire and I worked a forge, and learning how to read that fire and to feel the metal move and how it changes and how it moves differently under different circumstances. That's what really ignited me and really, like, convinced me, like, yeah, this is where you're going. This is what you want to do. You know, because it was a level of expression that even in music I didn't get. And, you know, up until that point, all of my expression was coming through, you know, music, because I played music my whole life. I play the drums, and so I'm basically really good at hitting stuff with sticks and hammers. I'm very good at hitting things, people, whatever. But there was always, like, this tempered version of the expression in music, because you're also you're working with other people, so it's not your own expression. Like, I didn't write all my own music, I didn't dictate everything, you know. It was me working with other people, and it was a great challenge to learn how to express yourself within the confines of a collective idea. So you're, you know, without trampling someone else's, you know, what they're trying to say, their voice, and learning to work your voice within there and kind of weave it in between, you know, within the strands of others' ideas. And that was really a lot of fun and great. And it was an amazing experience. I got to work with amazing people. I guess at some point I suffered some head injuries, which kind of changed the way my brain works, and it kind of shifted from being more scientific and very, like, almost non-emotional, but very, like, driven by technique and precision. So it became less so that and more emotional. There was more passion, and like I was more driven by my passions and my need for expression, and it was much more explosive and fiery, which was exciting, but also, like, less tempered with the logic and the precision and the more science-based impetus that I once had. You're less logical about your approach to things, and your desire for that expression, it becomes so strong sometimes that it's really hard to temper it within the confines of other people's ideas. And so music became very frustrating, and it also became frustrating because, like, I knew it was a me thing. Like, I knew, like, I'm not as good at working within other people's ideas and passions as I once was, and that was frustrating because it made me feel bad. Bladesmithing gave me that outlet, and so the weird things that I do in bladesmithing and all that is just this translated language from all the stuff that's in my head, this impetus that I have to create, and these shapes and colors and stuff like that. It's all just this message that's in my head that needs to come out as an artist. Like, and what it is, I'm not really sure, but when I'm done doing something, it makes sense to me. It's probably madness to everyone else. It might actually be madness. I don't know. Doctors are on their way.